If there's any superhero in all of Marvel and DC you just can't defeat, it's Batman. Honestly, just ask the Joker. It's his one true wish, and he still hasn't achieved it. We bet that Batman could even defeat the Thanos snap. It's just sad that Marvel doesn't have him on their side. But be warned, there are things even he's afraid of. What? Really? Yep. And you'll find out all about them in this video. First, let's start with number 10, bats. He calls himself Batman, but he's afraid of bats? Talk about irony. But hey, we aren't surprised. Years of watching and reading about every single version of him have given us enough insight into his brain. You could even call us Batsperts. You know, experts in Batman. Okay, not our best pun, so let's move on. So yeah, the world's greatest detective fears the one thing he's built his identity on, bats. But it makes sense, doesn't it? Don't you remember when Bale's Bruce Wayne falls down the well and is attacked by those animals? There have been many times in comics and films that he's shown to be uncomfortable with them. Not that he doesn't use them to his advantage, but still, he isn't super friendly with them either. Next, on number 9, it's his friends falling apart. Okay, let's be honest. Who hasn't been in an awkward situation where you're supposed to console a crying friend? And that's normal people, not superheroes. So we can understand that Batman really doesn't like it when his friends fall apart. Plus, the guy may seem like a sarcastic genius, but inside, he's a sucker for love. And if there's anyone he loves aside from his gadgets and his trauma, it's his friends. So yeah, whether on TV or on pages, he's been really overprotective of his friends. He hated when he lost Harvey to Two-Face and has kept tabs on all his superhero allies time and again to help them out. Such a softie. Then on 8, his fear of being controlled. Hey, Batman marches to his own drums, so you better not bring any mind control when you're around him. The Mad Hatter tried it once. We bet that no one wants to be where he ended up. The Masked Crusader is a lone wolf, but even when he's working with people like Jim Gordon, Batgirl, or Amanda Waller, he makes sure that they know who's in charge. Honestly, he doesn't even let Alfred control him, and he considers him his father figure. So you can guess how he'd react if anyone else tried manipulating him. Again, just ask the Mad Hatter, guys. He knows. After that, at number 7, his fear of being isolated. Okay, so Batman may be the smartest guy alive, but he's definitely a contradiction to himself. He's afraid of bats, but acts as one. And he's a lone wolf, but is afraid of isolation. What? But okay, we get that too. The guy lost his parents when he was just a kid, and honestly, he isn't over that. No guy who prances around as a bat can be called healed. And while he does pretend to have this wall around him and the world, secretly, he's really afraid of being lonely, which is a little sad if you think about it. But that's just semantics. Point is, we've seen him protect and fight for his loved ones time and again, in every movie or series he starred in. Whether it's Andrea Beaumont in Mask of the Phantasm, Rachel Dawes in Nolan's trilogy, or Selina Kyle in The Batman, you could even count Jim Gordon on the list. He's always kept those he loves super close just so he doesn't lose them, which just makes it worse when he is left alone by the end of it all. You guys remember how he's banished from Gotham after Harvey dies in The Dark Knight, don't you? He literally gets depressed and locks himself away until Gotham needs him again. On number 6, we have his lack of clarity. Where is she? Remember the dialogue? It's from The Dark Knight when the Joker kidnaps Rachel and Harvey and Batman interrogates him to find out where they are. And that's just one example. Another one is when he goes after Deathstroke just to find out who Damian's father is. And what about recently in The Batman when he yells at the Riddler when he's unable to understand his plans? All these instances are when he's caught off guard and cannot understand what's happening. You've probably understood by now that our guy here is a control freak. So whenever things go out of control or when he's in the dark, he becomes afraid, and that's really not a good look on our favorite detective slash millionaire slash vigilante. With that, we're at number 5, people exposing his identity. Our Bat Dude doesn't wear a mask for fun. He does it to protect his loved ones, induce fear in the hearts of his enemies, and protect his own identity. He's Bruce Wayne after all, the mega millionaire who has been portrayed as an airhead on multiple occasions, but one who knows the who's who in Gotham's seediest circles. That's a great front for his superhero work, so he obviously doesn't want people to know who he is. And when people threaten to expose his identity, that's when his fear hits. In fact, he's even gone as far as to fake his own death as Bruce Wayne just so that Scarecrow can't reveal his identity in Batman Arkham Knight. You also remember how in The Dark Knight he causes an accident when an employee of Wayne Enterprises is about to reveal who Batman is, right? Whoop, the guy's used to keeping his skeletons deep inside his closet and will never appreciate you trying to expose him. Number 4. 4 is his experience of losing a loved one. All of Batman's need for control and secrets stems from the fact that he just can't lose his loved ones. But when he does, lose one, we mean. Yeah, that's not pretty. We'll take you back to our Dark Knight example when Harvey Dent dies. Instead of revealing why he's dead, he takes the blame instead. And when Rachel dies, boy oh boy, tears rolled, hearts broke, people cried. That's how devastating it was to see him. So yeah, if there's anything he fears the most, it's losing a loved one. And obviously, it's years of trauma after losing his parents, which just makes his story super duper sad. Third last on our list is his fear of taking a life. Do you know what makes Batman special? His ability to fight without killing anyone. Yeah, it does come out as holier than thou sometimes, and other times we think life would be so much easier if he could just kill that one guy. But, while all that's true, another thing that makes Batman great is his three-dimensional villains, who all have a backstory that comes out exactly when we're wishing he'd kill them, which makes it obvious that one of his biggest fears is to murder them. Sure, DCEU's version of Batman is a lot darker because he's not afraid to kill, but hey, that's the darkest time of his life when he's lost so many people. He doesn't care anymore, and we've seen how remorseful that leaves him. So yeah, no matter what stage of life he's in and how much loss he's faced, Batman truly fears losing control and killing someone. On number 2, we have his fear of facing his fears. We told you, the man just keeps contradicting himself, but that's what makes him interesting, doesn't it? Like, remember when he's infected with Scarecrow's toxic gas in Batman Begins? Bale's brilliant acting, paired with the story, gives us an inside look at how he's really afraid inside. In fact, everything Batman does is just his way of locking away his fears in a box and making himself so powerful that he cannot be challenged. But every time he is, we see the human side of him that's afraid of his worst insecurities. Whether it's being stuck in the pit in The Dark Knight Rises, or being stuck in his memories when the Mad Hatter hypnotizes him in Batman, the animated series, both times he's shown to be afraid of his worst fears. In the former, it's the fear of losing all his purpose and accepting defeat. In the latter, the fear of going back to the real world. Honestly, that's what makes him one of the most relatable superheroes out there. And that's what makes him the most human, too. Finally, his biggest fear, the pain of losing his parents. Oof, this is a heavy one. So we all agree that Batman is the vigilante of all vigilantes, the hero of all heroes, the darkest in the darkness, right? But all this for what? Just to be strong enough to not let his parents' death take over. Because guys, he's super affected by that. And why wouldn't he be? Bruce had one hero he literally worshipped all his life, his dad. The man was his world, and when he loses them, that too, in such a tragic way, it changes his life. He isn't the same boy anymore, so to fight the pain, he becomes someone else. A man who's the definition of fear and darkness. But inside, he still keeps the pain alive. And we've all seen what happens when that pain resurfaces. His entire persona is literally a coping mechanism for it. That's why he protects his loved ones and likes his control so much. So yeah, if there's anything Batman's afraid of the most, it's facing his parents' death. And that wraps up our video. Which one of Batman's fears do you think makes him the strongest? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.